What is good, horror horde? This is your boy Horror Gamer back with another video for you. And if you can't tell in the title, this is another Horror Gamer reviews video. And let me tell you something. This movie I'm about to review, boy. Whew. All right, but before I get into this, before I get into any of this, if you haven't seen the movie, pause this, go watch it, come back, and let me know what you think in the comment section. Now remember, there's spoilers in this all day, every day. You know your boy Horror Gamer has spoilers in his reviews all day, every day. All right. So if you watch after this point, this is on you. So I am just gonna get right into this. I watched this movie called The Fear Footage, and what can I say about the Fear Footage? Let me tell you something. This has to be probably one of the best found footage movies I've seen in a long time. This possibly has to be one of the best horror movies I've seen in a long time. Let me tell you something. So basically, this movie, the Fear Footage, it's an anthology. It's an anthology movie. So it's 3 stories, 3 found footage stories. And it's phenomenal. It starts off, there's this guy's on dispatch with the police saying a house just appeared out of nowhere. It was the house that a girl killed her family in a year prior, and they tore it down, but now it's magically back. So what do? They send a cop over to scope out this house. The birds are just as pumped too, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, they watched it with me. But yeah, anyway, like I was saying, this cop goes into this house and it's dark and it's all found footage. It's from his body cam. And he's walking around, he's looking, nobody's there. And then he finds this tape called The Fear Footage. And he puts it into VCR. And like I said, it's 3 separate stories, but it's all found footage stories. The first story was called The Birthday, which was, that one probably has to be the weakest one out of the 3. It's about this boy whose birthday is the next day, and it's around the time where the whole clown thing was happening, where idiots were dressing up like clowns and scaring people. And he's super pumped for his birthday. His mom buys him a camera, and he's playing with it, exploring, showing everybody everything. And then in the middle of the night, he's sitting there playing video games, and he looks out his window and he sees a clown, and he runs and tells his mom. Of course, mom doesn't believe him. And then the clown gets into the house, and you know what happens there. Terror ensues. So that was the first one. I'm not going to get into full detailed coverage of it because I want you to check it out, because it's too good of a movie to really ruin. So the next one is called, what was the second one called? Oh, it was called Storm Chasers or Storm Stalkers. That one was a good one. That one is about these 3 guys who chase storms, and the footage is from the footage in this one's from an ear cam that this guy invented to chase the storm. So basically, they're chasing the storm in the middle of the night, and they hit this dude, and here they get chased by this cult, basically, of people in black robes. One of them gets killed off right away, and then they run into this tunnel, and there's like this demon creature in the tunnel that's chasing them, and they're trying to get out, they're trying to get away, and they're also being chased by these cult members, and they get picked off one by one. Then the guy makes it to the car, and then he runs into these people, but I'm not going to tell you what happens there. That one was a pretty good one. That's between that one and the final one, which was called Speak No Evil. It's a toss-up between which one of those 2 were my favorite, because Speak No Evil was pretty creepy. It took place in Pennsylvania. This guy had an apartment in Pennsylvania across the street from woods, like a wooded area, and he kept hearing noises in the middle of the night in the woods. And his girlfriend leaves him, grabs their daughter and leaves him because she thinks that he's on drugs. So in this one, he's trying to, prove to her that he's not on drugs and that there's really something out there. So he puts a post up about how he's hearing noises, and somebody reaches out to him and gives him their phone number, and basically he calls this guy, and this guy tells him this story about a church and a preacher, and this family was taken into this church, and their eyes, ears, and tongues were cut out, and on a piece of paper written, it was "See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil." So this whole time he's trying to figure out what's going on in these woods, and he's like getting sick as this is happening. Like, I don't know if it's like a curse or something. And one night he hears his daughter outside. So he goes and runs, and he's like trying to find his daughter, and he finds his daughter's doll laying on the ground. And so he's like frantically trying to find his daughter. Well, he comes up to the church, and then he starts getting sick. And when he gets sick, you can see somebody standing behind him, and then he moves back in the frame, and when he moves back out, the person's gone. So he keeps hearing his daughter's voice coming from the church. So he jumps into the church to try to find her, and here he's walking down this corridor, and this fucking priest walks by. Oh man, it's woo. And so he follows the priest. He goes up into this like chapel area, and there's this like weird old-timey cartoonish movie playing, and on the table there's a note that says, "Hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil." And then he turns around and the preacher's right behind him. Yeah, I'm not going to get into detail what happens there, but just know shit is pretty creepy. And then there's a sequence where the preacher kind of crawls up to the camera, and that fucking made me jump. You know, not a lot of movies make your boy Horror Gamer jump. So I got to give kudos to this one because it made me jump a couple times. Granted, they were kind of jump scare-ish, where it get real loud real quick, but still, I don't jump very often, and this got me a few times. So after he's done watching all this footage, all these found footage stories, he tries to get out of this house, and there's this woman sitting in a chair, and she's like, "You can't leave," just like that. And fucking, he's like, "Okay, I'll be back. And then he turns around at the front door, and he keeps, every time he runs out the front door, he opens it up, and he's in the basement area. And he's like trapped in this house, and no matter what he does, he can't get out. He runs to the front door again, and he finds himself in a bathroom where there's a tub full of blood and this woman with her head down. And then at the very end, it just becomes this kind of haunted house, like carnival fun house of fucking terror, because he can't get out and he's being chased by these ghosts. Well, ultimately at the end, you know, something happens. I don't want to ruin it, but the next day they say that I don't want to ruin the ending for you. Listen, it's a good movie. It's definitely worth checking out. I bought it on digital, but this is something that I need to get my hands on a physical copy because, yeah. And I know there's a sequel, and I'm definitely going to get into that and watch that one and have a review up for that. But if you get a chance, check out the fear footage. That movie is, oh my God. That's probably one of the best movies I've seen all year. And let me tell you something. I've been to the movies a lot. I've seen a lot of horror movies this year. A lot of big Hollywood budget horror movies. And let me tell you something. I've been very disappointed with big budget Hollywood movies lately this year. But with this movie, there's no disappointment. I am super pumped. I can't wait to have a movie night with my woman and have her watch this because it was that good. So, hey, kudos to you guys. You guys made one hell of a movie. I can't wait to get the second one. I can't wait to get my hands on physical copy of this and the physical copy of the second one. Hopefully the second one's just as good. We're going to find out. But yeah, definitely check out the fear footage, man. That movie is fucking off the chain, bruh. Alright, H0rr0rr. With all that being said, this has been my review. I love you guys. Thank you. And as always, this is your boy H0rr0rr Gamer saying, don't fear the darkness. Embrace it.